Okay, welcome everyone to our mid-month mini break, your power half hour for de-stressing and renewing your energy so that you can refocus on your powerful intentions for the month. It's April 2016 and I want to welcome everyone who is here live and those of you who will be joining us in the recording. So our topic this evening is defragmentation, and on our Facebook event page, the topic gained some interest. So I am so glad that, well, maybe I'm not glad, but I know that I'm in good company and that plenty of you resonate with this feeling that you need to defragment, kind of like how your computer needs to defragment at times when its files kind of get, when holes get poked in the files and, and things get disorganized. So in terms of energy, when the term defragmentation came up, and the way I come up with our topics is I listen to what you guys need when you join the event, or you plan to come, you tell me you plan to come to the event, and then I kind of just get quiet and meditate on what just comes up, and usually it bubbles up when I'm relaxed and thinking of something else. So, and the term defragmentation came up. And basically what that means to me is to call back pieces of yourself and release what doesn't belong to you. So that's what we're going to be doing in our power half hour this evening, is going through an exercise that you can use whenever you need it to defragment your energy system. So if you're particularly empathic, or you spend a lot of energy taking care of other people, then you probably really do resonate with this sense that you need to defragment. And those of you who are familiar with human design, if you don't have a chart, if you have a chart that looks something like this, where you have these open centers, and this is definition where you're not likely to absorb things, but if you have a lot of openness in your human design chart, you'll tend to pick up a lot of energy from other people, and that's what makes you empathic. That's what makes you wise about the use of those types of energies, but it can also kind of burn you out and exhaust you. If you're not familiar with human design and you would like a copy of your chart, I'd be happy to send one to you. You can just go to my website at coachingwithsandy.com and click on the human design link in the navigation bar, and it'll drop down and you can see where you can get how you can get a free human design chart. So, but you don't need to know any of that. If you already know that you're empathic and you're picking up other people's stuff, that's plenty to know that it's time to stop and defragment. So how you know that you need to do that often is because you may feel like you have low energy, or you're tired, or maybe you have a feeling of being deflated at times, or some people have told me that sometimes they feel a little full, like they're full of other people's energies. Also the feelings of being scattered and distracted. And I know last month we did some exercises around getting grounded, and this is part of that as well. You can get very ungrounded when you need to defragment and reconsolidate your energy. So when you need to do this is when you start to feel those kinds of things. At the end of the day is a great time, or just when you need to stop and refocus your attention, like you know that you've gotten distracted and you need to come back and refocus or focus on something specific. That's a great time to practice defragmentation. Another time is in the morning, when you may be coming back into your body, especially if you have an active dream life, or if you sleep really hard and sometimes you wake up and you're not quite sure where you are or who you are. It's almost like you've left pieces of yourself out there in your dream state or your sleep state. So I have a saying that I remind myself every morning when I feel like that, and that saying is, don't leave the bed without your heart. And I'll sometimes just lie in bed and hold my heart center so that and just do this exercise of defragmentation, this calling back the pieces of me, so that I feel whole and grounded before I even leave the bed in the morning. So anytime is really a good time, and when you tune into your body, you know when it's time to just stop and call back those pieces. So let's go through this exercise, and then I'll open it up for comments or questions or ideas that you have that you may want to add to this whole concept of defragmenting. So where you are, if you're in a place where you can get comfortable and close your eyes. If you're driving, of course, that's not a good idea, and you may want to just go back through this recording if you're distracted or otherwise occupied. But if you can go inside yourself by closing your eyes, go ahead and do that. And take a few deep, slow breaths, filling up your lungs and letting go in the exhale. And as you do this, just feel your body relaxing. Let go of any tension in your body. If you need to move your shoulders or even stand up and stamp your feet on the ground like we did in the last video, or move your body in a certain way, go ahead and do that and allow yourself to really settle in and get in touch with what you're feeling in your body. And keep breathing. So before we can call back the pieces of our attention that we have left in other places with other people, we probably need to let go of some things and energies that we've accumulated. So continue to breathe. And as you do, let's start at that root center, that root area at the base of your pelvis. And you're going to just scan to see if there's anything that you need to let go of on your exhales. And if you feel like you're holding on to energy, or even if you don't have a sense of feeling about it, just imagine on your exhales letting energy and debris just fall into the ground from that base of your pelvis. Just let it go. And it's kind of like you're opening up the drain plug, and energy is moving down, energy that you may have accumulated that's not yours. And just move a little further up to your pelvis and your torso, and see if feel if there's energy there that you're holding on to that you want to let go of. And if you feel like you need to let go and send energy back, or send attention back to the people and places where you might have picked it up, just let that go. You can imagine it just flowing down into the ground. And then come to your heart. And the way that you know that you've picked up energy, or you're not moving energy in your heart center, is that you may feel either a little bit numb, or you may feel emotions like sadness, or maybe a little depression, or something that just doesn't feel quite grounded and centered in you. You don't have to analyze what that is now. Just breathe in, and on your exhale, let go of that energy. If it flows down through your torso and out your root, let it go into the ground, or maybe it just sort of floats away out of your chest. And then move up to your throat. And if you've been talking a lot or trying to get your point across and not being heard, you may have accumulated energies that really aren't quite yours. So inhale and exhale and let go of the throat energy. And then move up to your head center, your head region. We're going to take the whole head here. And of course, if you've been thinking a lot today, or if you've been entertaining a lot of ideas, or if you have a headache, or if your stress tends to accumulate in your head, take that breath in and imagine that you're circulating it around through and around your brain and skull and through your head cavity. And on your exhale, just blow that energy out. Just let go of any ideas that maybe aren't yours, or any ideas you've been overthinking. Just let it go. Let go of worry. Let go of fear, what you're telling yourself that may be fearful to you. And now just do a big scan of your body, from the feet all the way up to your head, your arms, your hands, torso, every place, and just see if there's any place else where you may feel full, or like you may need to let go of tension, or something that you might have picked up along the way. And another big inhale and a big exhale. And let it all release. So now you're ready to call back those pieces of yourself that you have left with other people because you care about them, or because maybe you've had a conflict, or maybe you switched your attention so fast that there was something unresolved in a situation from your day. You don't have to know what all of that is, but just know that you're going to call those pieces back. They're going to come back easily. So just breathe naturally and normally. And imagine that these pieces are like building blocks or puzzle pieces, and they're all just part of you. They know where to go. You can see them floating in. Just imagine that they're floating in, and they're just going into those places where you now have room to put them, where maybe there wasn't room before. And as each piece cements in or rejoins you, imagine that it just gets sealed in with a little bit of light. Like the light is glue that seals in this puzzle piece, one after another. And if you're seeing them come into the front of your body, also make sure that you're paying attention to what's coming in from to the back, or from the top, or from the bottom in your feet. And just intend, even if you're not visual and you can't see, just intend that these pieces are coming back. and seal each one in with a little bit of light. Keep breathing normally and keep allowing yourself to relax. And with each piece, you feel a little stronger, a little more fortified, a little more yourself, and definitely more grounded and centered inside of you. And feel the energy come back into your body as each piece seals in. Now take a moment to just thank all the pieces for coming back and knowing where to go. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and take one big grounding deep breath. So I am going to just open the phone lines and see where everyone is with this. If you do have background noise, you can mute yourself by turning on or clicking on the little microphone icon at the bottom of your screen. Oh. Okay, great. So what did you guys feel? How did that feel to you? Anything? Oh, and if you're muted, there is a chat feature, and you can just chat in your questions or comments, or share whatever it is that you'd like to share. I see that Bridget joined us and Shana joined us. Welcome. So Cheryl, since you're the only one I can see, I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. How do you feel? Are you a visual person, or are you more?
I'm can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm extremely visual.
Yes. How was that for you?
To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
attention the whole time.
You were what?
I wasn't paying attention the whole time. My dog kept bugging me to go outside.
Oh, yeah, I know that. That's why I have my door closed, because inevitably that happens. So.
I didn't know what I was going to be in for, actually, when I tuned in. Another room. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, you can come back and get the recording when your dog doesn't need to go out. And
that's exactly what I had planned on doing. Yes.
Excellent. Well, it's good to have you here on the video anyway. So that's great. Does anyone else have a comment or want to share your experience?
Oh yes, Sandy. This is Christine. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Christine.
Yes, it was really a beautiful experience, and I loved the pieces coming back and the idea of the light closing them. It was really beautiful. And what came up for me was a loss of routine. The words came up, routine. So that was very powerful. So that's something I really have to look at, because I didn't realise how much I had lost my routine and how I need that. I mean, some people don't, but I do. I really do need a very, not very strict, but I need a daily routine. And it's very interesting because my dog has been very intense with establishing the routine. We've moved, you see, and she's been very intense about establishing the routine. And I realise now she's been communicating to me that things have gone off and I've given too much to other people. So thank you. That's been very enlightening.
Yeah. And that's really interesting about your dog giving you those cues. And dogs are really good for that in terms of grounding you and making sure that you pay attention to what it is that you need. And sometimes in Cheryl's case at this time, what they need. But, you know, they're so... If you're lacking routine or you're lacking grounding, your animals will definitely give that to you. So that's great. That's great that you've gotten that piece of it. And I do invite you and everyone here to continue to work with this, especially when you can catch yourself. You know, when you can catch yourself for just a few minutes and say, okay, I'm feeling scattered here. It's time to just pull those blocks back in, to just call everything back. And really it only takes a few minutes when you really stop and do it. And then just sealing them in with the light is something that can kind of give you that cue that, okay, just because they floated out or I took my attention out into these other places and these other people and those pieces of me somehow got disconnected from me or I disconnected from those pieces, doesn't mean that it has to happen again. You know, I'm sealing them in and making sure that I hold on to myself even when I'm focused on other people. So that's a little reminder that you can give yourself as you're working with defragmenting.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, Bridget is called in from Patagonia. Welcome, Bridget. And Judy, thank you. I'm reading the comments in the chat box, and they're open to everyone. So,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and Judy, it doesn't take a lot, like I said, to memorize this whole little thing. It's just a matter of thinking of it in the moment and being able to do it. So, cool. So, you know, I want to encourage all of you I do a lot of meditations, and if any of you have been following me for a while, you know that I've got them up on YouTube, and some of them are kind of crazy, and some of them are on the fly, and some of them, you know, I've actually put music to, and probably with this video, I'll put some background music to the meditation part of it. And oh, and Bridget has a cabin and 10 acres, so cool. Anyway, I got distracted. Let me call those pieces back. So yeah, I want to encourage you guys to use these for your own creative, personal meditation making process, you know, and to use these little mini meditations and these little mini focus things that we do once a month to really create things that work for you, processes and things that you can use when you need them to work for you. And take my ideas and expand on them, modify them, share them, and use them in any way that you really feel that you can, if for nothing more than for the inspiration to create meditative and focusing processes for your own self-care routine. So, oh, and Bridget wants to know how we get fragmented. Oh, yeah. Just to recap, because I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning, Bridget, it's really about, especially when you're very open, and I showed my human design chart as an example, but you don't really need to know your chart to know if you're open or empathic. You can feel it. And your energy just goes out, or your attention goes out to other people. Or if you're really spending a lot of time taking care of other people or among a lot of other people or focused on a project even, it doesn't even have to be other people, focused on a project or different projects where you kind of leave your attention there and run from one thing to the other. And sometimes you don't really take the opportunity or remember to stop and close one thing up and move your attention, close your attention on one thing and move it to the next. So that's what fragmentation means to me. And you have 7 open centers, yes. Yeah, you're definitely probably feeling that fragmentation quite a bit. So anytime you're feeling scattered, anytime that you're feeling maybe a little full or a little depleted or a little tired, it's just a cue that you're fragmented, and you can do something like this to defragment yourself. So I think that is pretty much all that I have at this point. And we're coming on the end of our half hour here. I do think I will rename these little monthly things to the Power Half Hour, just because I keep saying that, and it feels like that's what happens. We all get a little bit of extra juice and power in the middle of the month. And I might actually experiment with moving it to a different time as we move further into the year. So I welcome any feedback on that, any suggestions on what you would like to do with these mini breaks or these Power Half Hours. You can email me, or you can go to, I'll leave the link for my email on the Facebook page, or you can leave me a message on the Facebook event page, or you can go to my website at coachingwithsandy.com, and there's a little contact icon on the bottom of the page, and you can just send me a little note. So great. I am going to close it up really soon. I noticed you guys are chatting among yourselves, so that's fantastic. That's really fantastic. Does anyone have anything else that you want to add or want to say, or add to the half hour?
I would like to say, if you're going to do it later in the summer when it gets dark, because I'm out doing gardening a lot.
Ah, yeah, I may experiment with that, and I know we have like Christine, you're in, we have Patagonia, and we have Christine who's over down under in New Zealand, I think. So, yeah, so I'll play around with that, and my schedule may change a little bit as well. So we'll see what happens in terms of meeting times and meeting dates. But I really appreciate that you all have taken your time to come onto the line at this point, and Cheryl, that you've been brave enough to show your face. When I do the recording, I'll take out everyone's faces just because. Just because it seems to be better, more comfortable for everyone. But I love seeing your faces if you can get online. And I love hearing your comments. And again, this is for you. So feel free to contact me in any way that you want to give me feedback and to help me to make this half hour a half hour that you can really benefit from. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and more to come next month. So have a good evening or morning or afternoon or wherever you are. And thank you, and we'll talk again we'll see each other again next month.
Thanks, Sandy.
Night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.